Hey there, I'm Ian Douglas. I'm the author of the website techinterview.guide, and I'm here to help people with career advancement and interview preparation. My live stream on Twitch covers topics such as company research, how to build resumes and cover letters, applying for the job, getting through interviews, and what to do during negotiations. I've coached thousands and thousands of people over the years to get jobs at the biggest tech companies in the industry, and I'm here to help you too. The following episode is taken from a longer live stream event and may contain interactions with other people in chat. Check out the end of the episode for more information. Let's get to it. So Dota2 asked a question in chat: as a new person to a code base or team, do you have any general tips for getting into the code base and beginning to express opinions, feelings, ideas for technical advancement? This is a great question. For anybody new joining a team, if you come from a position of experience where you've had experience working on other code, stepping into the team, you're going to look at things and go, why are we doing it this way? I would say the first thing you need to do is document all the things. Like, even if the team documents things themselves, try to come up with like a system design yourself, like a system design document of like, what are the different components? How do they communicate? Like what's the communication layer? And then what are they actually communicating back and forth? Like, is it JSON data or whatever? But I would start documenting that out and then get someone on the team to review it and say, hey, this is what I see. Like, this system is talking to this system and this is how they're talking. Like, does that look accurate? Does that sound right? And get them to critique it and review it so that you refine that. So now your knowledge becomes clear, their knowledge gets shared, and now you've got something documented for the rest of the team to see. And so this is going to help make everybody better. That would be the first thing I would do. And then from there, you can then start to explore, okay, well, as a team, based on my experience, could we explore the idea of changing from this to this or implementing this or that? Where you don't want to just jump in and be like, this is garbage, this is dumb, like, let's, I want to do this instead. Like, you don't want to be really aggressive about it because you're new on the team. It's okay to offer ideas and advice, but you don't want to be super aggressive about it. I think it's important to be able to share open opinions and ideas, but do it in a respectful way to where you're not like stomping on toes. Maybe they had a specific reason for doing it that way. Maybe because of some other legacy code or technical debt that they had to kind of work around. There might be reasons why they had to do it in a particular way. It doesn't mean that they're closed to changing it, but there might be reasons. And so being able to kind of step in and say, well, what if we built a layer on top of it so that, everything else from an external point of view, like I'm thinking, like if you already have an API and that API is, a little janky, could we write another API layer on top of it where you're still kind of implementing the same interfaces, but it gives you the opportunity then to kind of refactor everything behind that. So everybody else hitting that API still sees the same interface. So that doesn't change, but how that actually happens behind that can change. That could be one way to approach it. Now that does make more work, and there's an extra layer now of communication and latencies and whatever. So you will have to kind of talk to the team about what the implication of that is, but say, it's a temporary thing. It's only going to be for a couple of months. And then once we rewrite this thing, it'll be better. But you should feel comfortable enough on the team to be able to start offering those ideas. But again, you don't want to come across too aggressive of like, oh, this is garbage, we need to change this, or like, this is dumb, why are we doing it this way? You don't want to step on people's toes. You do need to be a little bit diplomatic about it. And I think just being really open and honest and say, hey, from my experience, we did it this way at a previous job and we found a 10% increase in blah, blah, blah. I think that's an important way to sort of communicate with the team and show them the value of it, and not just, hey, we should do it this way. Like, explain why. Like, why have you done it that way in the past? How did it make it better? If it's some just new technology that's coming out and you want to go explore some new technology, that might be a little bit different. When I worked at SendGrid, we got big enough to the point where we had like a technology advisory team where if you wanted to do something in a different language, a different framework, or some other different technology that the company didn't already use, you basically had to go and pitch them on the idea of like, this is what we want to do, this is why, this is the benefit that we could see. Here's a prototype project that I built that can kind of show and then sort of sell them on the idea. And then they would make a decision of like, yeah, we can try this next project in that other technology. Not every company is going to be big enough for that kind of bureaucracy. So, but some companies are going to really hold and say, no, you have to use this language, you have to use this framework. And so that may not be able to change, but how you build out that code could change. And so I would say like make suggestions over time, but don't bombard them. Don't be like, here's 100 things that I think need to change about this code. Just be like, here's some low-hanging fruit that I think we could change and make an impact in this way or that way. And just be really upfront about what the impact is going to be. Like, hey, if we change, this test in this way, it's going to speed it up. Or if we change this configuration thing, these tests are going to run much faster. Like, everybody's going to love that. It's like, yeah, I would love for those tests to run faster. When I worked at SendGrid, our test suite took 45 minutes to run until we figured out how to actually properly get them working in parallel with enough mocking and stubbing to where it didn't actually rely on like real database connections and database pollution and things like that. And we got it down to like 15 minutes instead of 45. So instead of taking a lunch break, we took a ping pong break instead. It's like, let's go play a couple of games of ping pong and then we'll come back and everything will be done. Instead of like, let's go out for lunch and it'll be done when we get back. That actually slowed down our process a lot more. And so those kinds of optimizations will help. But if it's just like, hey, if we change this algorithm from this to that, being able to share that impact, I think is going to sell them on it a little bit more. And then as they start to trust your input and your advice, you'll find that they're going to start coming to you and say, hey, all that other advice you gave was really good. Can you take a look at this and see what you would think? You may get approached that way. But I would start really small and just say like, hey, here's some small things that we could probably gradually improve. Or if it's something about a process, you should feel open enough on a team to start making those suggestions, but don't just kick down the door and be like, here's 1,000 things that, I hate about this code base. You gotta be a teammate about it and communicate well about it. Thanks for checking that out. I hope that you found it helpful. I always appreciate feedback, so please let me know what you think. I appreciate any subscriptions, so please tell your friends and colleagues about it as well. Check out the website techinterview.guide for more information about when I'm live streaming and all of my free content. Drop by a live stream anytime to ask questions or message me privately, whatever makes you most comfortable. See you next time.